What's up, Swing Trader? Snacks here. We're going to jump into our watch list for Friday, November 29th. And for those of you that celebrated it, I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving holiday. It's my personal favorite. As always, we'll start with market breadth and taking a look at the SPY here. We've got a beautiful response to what really looked like it was going to begin to get nasty here after another bearish engulfing on the daily, but we've reversed yet again. And what we've done that stands out here is a nice close above this lower high level that we were watching. It's beautiful price action. And we've also got the RSP here looking very strong on its rebound as well, and IWM looking the same. So, they had a bit of a change in tone for the Fed rate cut policy update coming December 13th, I believe it is. It seems that the odds are back up over 80% that we will continue to get cuts. So the market is responding well to that. We've got the fix getting well below the 2050 area is the number I personally don't like to spend a lot of time above. Well below that again. We've even caught a bit of a bid here in crypto, which is something I was saying for weeks now that it would be a signal for me of broad risk on, and we're getting that now. I'm still a little bit wary of this move, as I've detailed in some other videos. I do have an idea for a Bitcoin short term, right? I'm invested in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Link, okay, long term, and I did add on this dip a little bit here last Friday on, I added some Ethereum and some BMNR. But anyways, if we continue to push up, if we reject this longer term trend line here and roll back over, for me, that is a short trigger on triple R to the downside. If this 9 EMA curls over, if we breach that, then I'll likely take puts on IBIT for a very short term, like 3-day to maybe up to 3-week play on it. I would probably get 1 to 2 month put options on IBIT for a scenario like that. But for right now, guys, we've got to focus on this strong rebound here in equities, and I want to show you what I'm thinking. Look, it's a half day today. I'm not going to take any positions today, but it does not mean that I don't want to watch price action and, again, as we always do, build our scenarios for where we could go next and when I would like to position into the leaders if this scenario plays out. So as we were watching before, the last couple of weeks, we've been drawing out this sort of head and shoulders pattern as the market began to look nasty, right? And we broke down. But again, we've reversed. And now that we've breached this lower high, we have invalidated it through this week's price action. So what we've got to look at here now is an inverse, actually, head and shoulders beginning to possibly play out. So we're 4 days up in the market and we're going into, a half day today. I'm looking for a pullback before I enter. We have our invalidation here. So we have the first stage of a move we were looking for, invalidating that lower high. But now we need confirmation. And for me, that comes in the form of a pullback to hold our levels and then begin to push higher and reclaim that level. So that would look like a right shoulder on an inverse head and shoulders. So when we do get our pullback, right, we're not going to just go straight up. Maybe we do, maybe it really rips, and then, we're looking for that pullback to buy. But I'm thinking we get something more like this right shoulder here, right? So if we get a pullback in the next few days, today or early next week, I'm looking for it to, ideally, would be lovely to hold this 674 area, and we can buy this move. Okay, or I certainly want to see it holding the 663, 664 area to solidify that right shoulder, and we can buy this move here somewhere in there. I know that's very liney and a lot to look at, but guys, we're looking for a pullback to hold either this level or this level, and when it does, that is a retracement, reaction, and a remount of our levels can get us, and we'll look for a remount of the moving average, whatever it may be. We're just going to see which level the pullback holds. Okay, is it the 674 or the 664 area? Either of those holding, I will continue to have a bullish outlook into year end, and frankly, we've got a lot setting up. Before we jump into our list of leaders and weekly triggers, let's look at the market breadth signals that we have here. And we're back over our midpoint here on the stocks over their 50-day and 200-day moving averages. We are well above 50%. We're almost at 60% of stocks in the S&P 500 back over their 50-day moving average. And we made a new high in this trend, which we've been in a downtrend for a while here, which is a big part of why we've been protective in the last 2 months in our positioning. but we've just been making lower highs, lower lows, and we finally made a new high here. So it's a good look for me there. And then we've got our stocks making new highs versus lows, same situation. And we've got our weekly here looking strong as well. So breadth looks good to me. If we jump into the market internal and look at them for the week, guys, I mean, this is beautiful, heavy buy side price action. All right, no way to doubt that. We are certainly favoring buy side. I saw that it was last Friday, and I believe this Monday were some of the heaviest institutional inflow days since the April sell-off. So guys, it would suggest positioning, and that is what we look for. We want broad positioning, and what I'm seeing this week does suggest that, specifically with a great pop here in the RSP. We don't want to see the SPY leading and the RSP rolling over, which is what we've had. I'm not going to get into the analysis that I've done, almost daily now for a couple of months. But look, the RSP is moving along with the SPY. We are pushing back up towards highs in the RSP and also here in small caps. Beautiful breadth is what I'm seeing. And then one thing I want to notice before we jump into a couple names that I'll give you as ideas, with NVIDIA rolling over and the market still pushing higher, NVIDIA being the largest market cap in the market, this again is another layer of suggesting rotation, okay? Broad positioning, and that is what we want to see in order to have conviction that this move will have legs and sustain, okay? So I am still favoring, I believe for the time being, my weekly trigger list here, 1 week, and I do want to still see a pullback in the market, but if we do, and we don't invalidate these lows on all the, I'm not going to do that for each one, but these names that I show you here quickly, if we don't invalidate the lows, obviously, and we start to push back up and we trigger triple R on the weekly, I'm liking that entry model a little bit more. Some of these did trigger the other day. We talked about these all week, and a lot of them are triggering on the weekly. SYM, what a fantastic earnings they had. But we've still got some down below. So we look for a leader in a trend backed by growing fundamentals. We look for them to retrace, react at or around our level, and then remount the 9. So a resumption of trend. I love when it happens on the weekly. It's not as frequent, right? A lot of the leaders with the real heat, it's hard for these guys to even get below their 9, right? Let alone spend any time below it and actually pull back down towards the 50. But we're getting that here. And look, Amazon as well, we got a bit of a shake and go, and it pulled back into structure. So a shake and go is a breakout, fake out, shake out, pulls into structure, did not make a lower low, so pulled back into structure, held structure. We look to get a triple R trigger, which is back over the 9, and this is a shake and go with triple R trigger. So fantastic entry for me here on Amazon, a longtime favorite. We've also got Snow, but it's reporting earnings this week. We need to wait for that reaction. We've got ANET here, part of the, they do like the fiber optic, the cabling for these mega data centers that they're building. Great name here, back over the 9 is attractive. Guys, to save you some time here, as opposed to me going through each one of these one by one, if you want the list of my weekly triggers, just ask. I will leave the link in your comment below. Looking at healthcare, guys, this is still on an absolute ripper. So we're waiting for the first pullback in a lot of these names, something sort of like this. We want a retracement down below the 9, okay, a reaction at around our level, and a remount of that 9 is trigger for triple R. So healthcare is on the radar, but guys, a lot of these things are running away. So we do need to wait. MP and metals, precious metals, rare earths, all of that space seems to be catching a bid. Back over the 50 for me is attractive, clearing this range, remounting the 50. I believe that does align with the weekly trigger. Yeah, just above. So I like clearing this range for MP. This is sort of a shake and go with triple R trigger on the weekly for me in a hot space. So guys, if we're going to get a push into year end, I do expect the sectors that had heat all year long to heat back up right into year end. If we're going to push into year end, you've got the thesis of most money managers are not performing or even keeping up with their benchmarks for the year. So if it feels like we're going to get a runaway market into year end, you have to expect these guys it's wild. Wall Street is going to have to chase into year end. That's part of the thesis, into a significant follow through with legs push into year end. A lot of buy side pressure. You just saw it Friday and Monday, some of the biggest institutional inflow that we've seen all year. regardless, guys, we're let's not get too hypey. Really, we're just in the first leg of invalidating what looked very bearish, frankly, for the last week or two. And we're just beginning to invalidate that now. So let's be patient and let's watch our levels, okay? And see if we do end up getting that inverse head and shoulders pattern to play out on this first pullback and have it hold above structure and push up. This is the move to buy, guys. And if you want a list of leaders, again, guys, comment below. I will give you the heat, the names that have been leading the markets higher all year long. You want to focus on trend. I focus on trend continuation patterns on the leaders. In a follow-through market, they are money printers. So be patient, guys. We are very close to a risk profile A in the market. And if we get a nice push into year end, we're going to quickly be back up over 200%. I'm very excited. Bootcamp, guys, I know you are all excited. This could be it. We'll see. We're not going to force it, okay? We've built our scenario. If it plays out, we are going to react, okay? And guys, I have a new series on the channel coming out. I am very excited about it. I've been working on it for a week. Really fun series coming, guys, with a lot of great ideas on longer term trading, as many of you have asked for it. So keep an eye out for that. Again, subscribe if you haven't, and you'll get the notice when it does release. Stay safe, manage your risks. Let's go make some money. I'll see you soon.